Welcome everyone, I'm glad you're here. Today's session is part of the Autism Blueprint framework, and we're going to be talking about trauma, coercive control, and high conflict divorce, with a specific focus on special needs families. This is a teaching session. You're not expected to fix anything today. You're here to understand what your nervous system and your family system may have been responding to. As we go, I want you to listen with self-compassion. If something feels activating, you're welcome to pause, step away, or come back later. One quick orientation before we continue. At the end of this video, you'll see an end card that takes you to the full Autism Blueprint podcast episode on this subject. In the podcast, we go deeper with lived experience, clinical nuance, and extended conversation. This lesson is meant to give you the framework. The podcast gives you the fuller context. You don't need to watch or listen to everything today. Just know it's there when you're ready. In Autism Blueprint, we use the metaphor of a house. Today, we're working in the hallway. The hallway represents the place where families feel stuck in repetition. The same conflicts, the same emotional reactions, the same sense of waiting for something to go wrong. When families live in this hallway for a long time, their nervous systems stop expecting resolution and start preparing for impact. That's the context for today's lesson. One of the most important things I want to establish early is this. What we're discussing today is not about character flaws. High conflict dynamics are often misunderstood as poor communication, difficult personalities, or people not trying hard enough. From a clinical perspective, these situations are far more accurately understood as nervous system responses to prolonged threat. When we reframe the problem this way, we reduce shame. And shame is one of the biggest barriers to clarity and change. Let's define trauma carefully. Trauma is not simply an event. Trauma is what happens when the nervous system stays organized around danger over time. That danger may come from chronic unpredictability, emotional manipulation, psychological pressure, ongoing relational stress, or feeling unsafe expressing yourself in a relationship. In Autism Blueprint language, trauma reduces access to calm, access to flexible thinking, access to communication, access to internal safety. It does not reduce intelligence, worth, or competence. Before we move on, I want to pause with you for a moment. This is a tough subject, and when we talk about trauma and coercive control, it's common for the nervous system to start scanning for personal meaning. You might notice tension in your body, a sense of urgency, or thoughts racing ahead. If that's happening, nothing is wrong. That's your system responding to material that matters. So let's take 10 seconds together. You don't need to analyze anything. Just notice your breath. Notice where you're sitting. Notice that right now, you are safe enough to listen. As we've covered the first part of this lesson, I want to invite a gentle reflection. No answers are required. This is just information gathering. As you think back over the lesson, you might ask yourself, have I been interpreting these experiences as personal failure when they may actually be nervous system responses to prolonged stress? Have I been asking, what's wrong with me? Instead of, what has my system been responding to? Just notice what comes up. You don't need to resolve it today. Understanding always comes before change. Coercive control, the hidden pattern. Now let's name a pattern that often goes unseen. Coercive control isn't always loud. It doesn't always look abusive from the outside. Instead, it slowly reshapes a person's internal world. Choices narrow. Self-trust erodes. Energy gets spent managing another person's reactions. Over time, the nervous system learns, staying small feels safer than pushing back. This is not weakness. This is adaptation. Why didn't you just leave? A common question gets asked here, and it causes harm. That question assumes access to clarity, safety, financial stability, emotional bandwidth, and support. Coercive control systematically removes those things. For special needs parents, the stakes are even higher. Parents are often weighing their child's safety, custody outcomes, access to services, financial survival, the ability to parent alone under stress. These are not excuses. They are real constraints. When threat is ongoing, the nervous system adapts. Clinically, we often see 4 common responses: freeze, shutdown, numbness, difficulty initiating action; fight, urgency, control-seeking, heightened reactivity; flight, overworking, restlessness, constant doing, difficulty slowing down; fawn, appeasing, people-pleasing, prioritizing others' comfort to stay safe. These are not personality traits. They are involuntary nervous system responses designed to keep you safe. There is usually no conscious choice involved. Your body has been trying to protect you. Many families attempt to resolve these dynamics with communication tools. But clinically, if the issue is power and safety, communication strategies alone won't resolve it. A nervous system in threat can't access collaboration. This is why couples therapy can sometimes be unsafe in relationships involving coercive control. Vulnerability without safety increases risk. In high-conflict divorce, the pattern often doesn't end. It relocates into systems, legal processes, schedules, finances, documentation. This prolongs nervous system activation. If you feel chronically exhausted, foggy, or hyper-alert, that response is consistent with prolonged threat exposure. It is not a personal failure. So what are the Autism Blueprint intervention points here? First, reduce shame. What has my nervous system been responding to? Second, regulation before resolution. A regulated body sees more options. Third, consent-based boundaries. No one is entitled to your nervous system. Fourth, community. Healing from prolonged stress requires connection. For special needs families, support is not optional. It is part of the care plan. We'll pause briefly here. When we return, I'll leave you with the core lesson takeaway. Here's the core takeaway from today's webinar. Trauma and coercive control reduce access, not intelligence, not worth, not competence. Safety comes before strategy. Regulation comes before communication. Autonomy comes before compliance. When families understand this, the hallway begins to change. Thank you for being here today. Take what's helpful, leave what isn't, and move at a pace that honors your nervous system. This is Autism Blueprint, one room at a time.